guys, how are you? Welcome back to the fourth video in my sauces series for this weekend. Now I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you're learning some new recipes and getting some ideas about what you can do to fill your freezer to make sure life is organized for you. At the moment I'm doing it because we're heading away in our caravan next week. I was going to say on the weekend, but it's not the weekend, it'll be Tuesday, and looking forward to having some nights of easy dinners so that I can have a little bit of downtime as well. But I will be showing you how to use these, so watch this space next week as I come to you live from my caravan. So this is a butter chicken recipe. So it's called I don't know how to pronounce it, something. Anyway, so we'll just skip the pronunciation and go, it's butter chicken. Now I've made this a few times. It is amazing. It equals the Skinny Mixes one, I would dare say. So I know a lot of you guys out there are fans of Skinny Mixes. I went from hers, which I made years ago in my 31 and my 5. Then I went from that to the quirky butter chicken, which is butterless butter chicken. Well, it can be butterless, and I love that. Went from there to the kid-friendly butter chicken, which is amazing. And I actually really like that one for the speed. It is just 4 steps, so it's so incredibly simple. So if you're looking for something that's, you know, that 6 o'clock, everyone needs food kind of thing, that's the one for you, the kid-friendly butter chicken. The only thing that makes it kid-friendly is spinach in it. Just skip the spinach, honestly, why? Anyway, this one, amazing. Okay, full circle around. This is as amazing, I would say, as Skinny Mixes. So let me show you how to make it. Let me show you the hints and tips along the way, and let's do this. Do say hi if you're on today. I'd love to know you're watching, and have you made this recipe? Let me know. So first things first is we're going to bring it up. So it's on my meal planner for today. How good is meal planning and shopping lists with cookidoo? I love the ease of this. So one of my kids have put smoked salmon slice on there. I won't be making that today. We've made so far today the Mediterranean zucchini fritters for lunch, and they've actually just made oliebollen, which are Dutch pancakey things. So I may be closing the door in a moment. They're waiting for them to rise, so I might have to close the door when they come in to cook them off in a moment. Alright, this one. So I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm scared I'm going to do it too far wrong, so I'll just leave it with butter chicken. So here we go. So now this is a TM6 version, but I think there's a TM5 version on cookidoo as well. So if you look for this recipe, I'm fairly certain I saw that there's a TM5 version, so that's amazing. It's for everybody. Oh, Kelly's made it. She said it's delicious. That is awesome. And Shannon made it today. That is so cool. Hey Gail, I'm so glad you are enjoying it. And hey Laura, lovely to have you on. Alright, so I'm going to scroll down. The first thing you actually do in this recipe is you get your chicken and you marinate it in yogurt and tandoori paste. Now, I talked about tandoori paste in the last recipe. I have done this actually without doing that step. So we have this in the fridge at the moment because we had this for dinner night before. We actually had this for dinner, but we used halloumi and we fried off halloumi in this recipe. So we fried it off and then chucked it into the sauce, and it was phenomenal. Oh, and some veggies in there as well, but mostly halloumi. Yum. Kids didn't eat it, we did, although the kids have eyed off the leftovers all day, so there might be some at dinner. So I'm actually not going to do a double batch for that reason, because I've got leftovers now. But you actually could double this recipe quite easily, and it will fit in here as well. Okay, here come the crowd. Let me just close the door. Alright, so first step would be to marinate your food, your thighs preferably. It's got lemon, salt, yogurt, tandoori paste, and that's it. So you marinate it. But we're going to come down and we're going to start straight at the sauce. So let's click on the sauce, and it tells me the real deal ingredients. Now I've got some tips for you guys coming up. Hey, guess what guys? I found teaspoons. I started cleaning out my drawers in the break in that last 2 hours. Yay! Who would have thought? I would not normally bother really measuring these like this, you guys know that. But anyway, found them, thought, you know what, I'm going to show you guys that I actually own teaspoons occasionally. I may not find them, but I have them. Okay, 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, 2 teaspoons of coriander seeds. So when you're going to the Indian grocer to get your Kashmiri, get yourself the real deal seeds. They are so much more cost effective if you buy it from them than it is from your general supermarkets. Okay, 2 teaspoons of coriander seeds. Now if you're doing this without the whole ingredient, so you're making it with the powders, you probably want, I would actually just do 2 teaspoons of powders. I think it'll work out perfectly fine. Okay, 2 cinnamon quills, 2 centimeters of cinnamon quill. I don't have that. I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. because that's what I've got. 1 black cardamom pod. Again, if I didn't have this, I'd probably put 2 greens in, okay? So don't let that stop you making this recipe. Hey, 1 teaspoon of full geek. I don't know, I'm pronouncing that wrong again, aren't I, guys? Feel free to have a chuckle. These are amazing. Again, get them at that Indian grocery when you're getting everything else. Smells amazing. I can't even explain. It's a very woody smell. Once you've got them, you'll find them in a whole lot of recipes you didn't know about. But yeah, amazing little spice, I'm guessing it is. And I'm pronouncing it wrong. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up to the camera and show you guys. Where's that glares there? There you go. Sorry, Instagram people, you were back to front, but that's okay. All right, one of those. Okay, on with the lid, and we're now going to cook this on for 3 minutes. So it is actually dry roasting those spices off. So this is your time to prep your next steps and see what needs to come next. Now this is amazing. We're going to mill this down in a second, so I do have a tip for you in on that. You will need yourself a piece of baking paper towel. That's the word I'm after. Like, it's not a baking towel, paper towel. So I'm just going to grab myself a paper towel out. Now this is going to help contain our dust from our spice milling down in a moment. So we're bringing out the beautiful aromas from the spices as they cook off. We're going to mill it down and then we're going to set it aside. So we need that. So if you're cooking along later on to this, make sure you grab your paper towel out then. The other things coming up that you'll need to prep for yourself is you'll need to grab out yourself a tin of tomatoes, 400 grams. You'll need ghee. Now, guess what? I don't have ghee at the moment. What have I got that's similar? Butter. So I'm just going to use butter instead of ghee. All right? Just swap it in. Don't stress it. Just swap. You'll need an onion cut in half. You will need some, I think it's almonds or cashews. Now again, you guys saw earlier, I'm out of those. So I'll be using sunflower seeds. You will need some ginger and some garlic. Okay, so I'm using garlic granules because you guys have watched me use all my garlic today. So I'm going to use some granules, and I've got some ginger paste still left. That is still going strong. So these are the things to prep for the next step. Okay, so if you are cooking along, do those things now. Now I can see there's a whole lot of chatter happening and I can't see it. It's off my screen. Let's have a look. Hey Tracy, lovely to see you on this afternoon. Now, I need a container to just put this in a minute, so I'll just grab this down. Now let's just check what else we've got to do. By the way, have you looked at the little numbers on the screen? So you've got here that you've got 1 minute remaining. It's 120 degrees inside and we're aiming for 120, so it's actually up to temperature. How cool is it that the Thermomix tells us what temperature it is at any given time? And this is actually why it's super cost effective to run a Thermomix. So when we take ours away in our caravan and we're actually off-grid and we don't have power, we can actually cook dinner for 3 nights off the batteries in our caravan because the power is so effective. I guess effective is the wrong word. Power is so efficient. That's the word I'm after. Efficient. So once it hits 120, you'll actually, you may not be able to see, but it turns the power off inside, the heating element, and then once it starts dropping, it reboosts it again. So it's this constant up and down of heat. It's not like an oven and things where it's constantly putting 180 degrees to an oven. So that makes it really efficient in its power usage, which is pretty cool. Now I told you guys I'd give you a little insight into what we've been doing to set ourselves up for on the road this year for our caravanning. So once we get to the next step, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing to our new car to get ourselves ready. So it says to allow it to cool in the bowl for 1 minute. I'm not very good at waiting and I didn't let it cool the other day. By the way, it just looks like a powdery dry mess still, which is cool. But it smells absolutely amazing. Gosh, that I can smell all those spices. Okay, this is what we do. We grab a very flexible paper towel and we put it in here, and this stops me inhaling all these spice dust in a second. Keep the measuring cup inserted then. It's got 1 minute, 1 minute on speed 10. It's going to go up slowly because it's hot. And then I'll stop talking. so impatient, and 1 minute's a long time when you're on Facebook Live, so we'll just go like 30 seconds. 30 seconds is amazing. Now, I love this trick with the paper toweling because, number one, my lid's nice and clean. I'm not losing anything to the top. Nothing tends to stick to your paper towel. Like, look at that. It's barely got anything on it. How cool is that? And then, by the way, the bit that's stuck there is probably from my seal. I just washed the bowl out. So that little bit. And then look at this. You've got perfect milled spices. How good's the Thermomix? It just blows me away still after all this time. So, set it aside. Alright? Now, no need to clean out the bowl. Just get what you can out of that. And you know what? I don't know whether 1 minute would have done any different to that. That looks amazing. Without cleaning the mixing bowl. Who loves that step? That's one of my favourites. Okay, 45 grams of ghee. I promise I'm going to tell you about what we've been doing in a minute to my car. Oh, a little bit more. There is some cook times coming up, so I'll be able to tell you then. Okay, 180 grams of brown onion cut in half. Mine's probably not 180, but it doesn't matter. Splash guard. Oh, yes, got that. Okay, so splash guard is a TM6 attachment. For those of you who don't know what that is and you're like, what, Lisa, are you talking about? This is used with our high heat cooking. So it means that the humidity can escape and it lets our meat or our onions brown off. So that's what this is about. It goes on like that. Give it a spin and it says 10 minutes. Now, 10 minutes is a long time. I don't reckon I'm going to last 10 minutes and this actually doing its thing. The other thing I'm wondering is I've just put an onion in half. I feel like my onion might have been a bit generous for the size that it's about to sizzle off. So I'm actually going to abort this mission at the moment. And I'm going to, and I don't remember doing this to me when I made my recipe like this the other day. So anyway, let's just go back because what I actually want to do is I'm going to chop that brown onion down. So back to the onion step. Because I don't want to cook off a half an onion still in its whole form. I don't know about you guys. So let's just go up to speed 5 for a couple of seconds. Chop that onion down a little bit and we'll go back to high heat. Okay, that'll do us. I don't need it hugely chopped, but I didn't want it, and that's probably why it's cooking for 10 minutes high heat, is because it's actually so big. Like, that's a chunk of onion that it's trying to cook through for 10 minutes, right? All right, let's get back to that step. Let's just give it now, we won't do 10 minutes, I'm going to give it 3 minutes because, you know, who's got time for 10? But while I do, let me tell you, so recently we got a, doesn't like that. Alright, so when you change the ingredient type too much, look, the story's just going to have to wait. If it doesn't think it's got enough weight in it, it will give you this error. Okay, where it's saying, no, you've varied it far too much from the original recipe. Now this happens on high heat. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go next. We're going to go next. We're going to come back to that. And we are going to manually do this step. So we're going to put, and I told you I was only going to do 3 minutes. So excuse my hand. I'm just going to put 3 minutes. I'm not going to do high heat right now. I'm just going to do Varoma, speed 1, and that's going to cook my onion and my butter beautifully. How cool is that? Didn't have this trouble when I did my practice run the other day. Anyway, let's keep going. So, got a new car recently. So to tow our caravan, we finally got our big Land Cruiser, which has been on our to-do list for a long time. And part of our setup is we have to have 3 rows of chairs up because I've got 4 boys and 2 of them sit in the back and 2 sit in the middle row. But that only leaves us about 30 centimetres at the back for storage of stuff. So we have a fridge that will fit perfectly in the back. And then we've designed a drawer system to go around it. But it's also got a lovely little shelf in there and an inverter that's going to run my Thermomix off-grid. So at the moment we can run it in our caravan, but if we take our car off for the day somewhere, obviously Thermomix gets left in the caravan, but not anymore. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to showing you guys cooking from literally anywhere from the boot of my car. So that's what's happening at the moment. We did just learn that possibly we'll even be able to run the air conditioner in the caravan from the car, although we're going away in winter, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. But it was an exciting find. I was like, because there are some times when you are in the middle of nowhere and it is hot, like it is just uncomfortably hot. So looking forward to showing you guys how that works and the possibilities of being able to use your caravan, your Thermomix anywhere, whether it's in a car or a caravan. Or maybe a tent or a camper trailer. So we've been through that as well. My Thermomix has come with us over many of years worth of are going everywhere. And if you want to see more of that, in August, September, just gone, we took the van away for 6 weeks, and you can find all our cooking and all our videos and stuff there on my page. So sorry to Instagram people, I'm new on Insta, so you won't find them on Insta, but you'll certainly find them on my Facebook page. So go check that out, and you'll also find there some more sauces. So I did, in preparation for that step, a whole lot of freezer sauces then, and you can find those freezer sauces. Some of them are repeats this time, but there's a few new ones as well. All right, we are nearly there, and I hope today you've also seen how, even if your Thermomix doesn't want to play friendly with the high heat, how you can still do it yourself anyway. So there you go, guys. 40 seconds to go. It smells amazing. So those of you with a Team 6, remember you do need to meet your weight requirements, which is why I only have the 110 and it was asking for 180, and it's clever enough to know that that wasn't enough weight, and therefore I would probably burn my onion and my contents, and maybe the bottom of the bowl as well. All right, here we go. I so want to push that stop button, guys. My patience. So tell me, those of you watching, what are you going to go try after today? What recipe have you gone, oh, that looks yummy, I'm going to put that on my to-do list? Or has anyone decided they're actually going to cook through all 4 and stock the freezer? Because collectively, it's actually probably going to take you an hour to make all 4 sauces. You could go one after the other. Probably don't even need to wash the bowl after each one, and have them ready. Okay, cooked off. Push on the green button. Let's go back to our recipe. Add the spices. Oh, this smells divine. Oh, and it looks it too. Look at it. Amazing. All softened up with that butter. So with those spices, just a little tip, try and avoid the blades. Try and go around the outside, because if you put them on the blades, they're going to get stuck and they're not going to get cooked off. All right. There we go. Okay, here's some ginger. So I'm using ginger paste at the moment. You guys have seen this already today. Welcome if you are joining me for the first time. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're feeling inspired, and that you'll try some of these recipes at your place as well. Okay, 2 garlic cloves. So I'm all out of garlic, used it in the last recipe, so I'm going to use my garlic granules, and I'm just going to use 2 teaspoons, which must be about equivalent, I reckon, of 2 garlic cloves. Okay, a teaspoon of salt. Now, most of you guys know I normally would use veggie stock, but I'm trying to stick to the authentic nature of this recipe and not use stock in it. But if you are wanting to put stock into it, you want to multiply it by 4. So if it says 1 teaspoon of salt, you can put 4 teaspoons, which is actually 1 tablespoon of stock into it. Okay, chilies, we're skipping. The family would not be impressed. Okay, on with the lid. Next. Okay, 2 minutes and up to speed 2. There we go. So we're nearly done now. We're nearly finished. We're going to add some tomatoes to this in a moment. We're going to add our sunflower seeds. We're going to cook that and blend it. So it's actually got a blending moment. Now I just have to make mention of something. Coming up next is coriander. And it says to put the stems and the leaves and the roots cleaned into it. Now, those of you who've been watching for a while will know that I am not a coriander lover. Please put in the comments who loves coriander, who does not love coriander. I would love to know your take on coriander. I love it in its powdered form and its dried form, its seeds. I do not love the green. The green to me tastes like squishy ants, and I don't know what squishy ants taste like, but I reckon it's pretty gross. So I'd love to know, which side are you? Are you a coriander lover, a dislike, or maybe you sit in the middle and you don't mind it. You're kind of like, oh yeah, on some dishes it's all good. But for me today, guess what? I'll be skipping it. And the beauty of the Thermomix is that's okay. You can just skip that step. So please feel free to just scroll on past the coriander if it asks for the coriander. Now I'm just going to check out these comments. I can see them coming, but they're off the screen. The meatball recipe is on the menu for next week. Oh, they were really yummy, Tracy. The kids actually devoured them and asked for more of them, so definitely well worth making. I love that you're inspired, Laura. That is so cool. No coriander. Love it. We are a bunch of coriander dislikers. Who's going to be the first one to say they do like coriander? Here we go. Nearly done. So yes, these are good recipes though. These are the ones that I would just say, these, like when I was trying to think through what did I feel like making when I was away, that's not too heavy, not too calorie dense, that don't have to be specifically chicken or something like that. These are the ones that came to the top of my list. So, I mean, yes, they are all chicken based, but you don't need to. This will be probably halloumi for us, and probably broccoli and cauliflower or something, and maybe not the cauliflower, probably broccoli or even snow peas. A beautiful, I find, in butter chicken. The creamy coconut chicken curry, that will be probably just sliced up veggies. Amazing. It's just beautiful. The fried one, what was that called? The chicken fried, Korean fried chicken one. That will probably be chicken. My kids love that recipe, but it might even be drumsticks or wingettes. It may not be, I think they actually use little drumettes, but it'll be whatever. It could even be chicken thighs, but I told you my trick there, that I won't be deep frying them. I'll be oven cooking them without the flour, and then just using the sauce as the coating. Forgotten what the first one was. Oh, the peanut Thai chicken. That'll probably be chicken and veggies. It's beautiful. Absolutely amazing. Scrape down the sides with the spatula. Here comes our tomatoes. The other things that are on the menu for next week, though, when we are away in the caravan, is I've already given it some thought. For the kids, I'm going to be doing carbonara again. So you guys watched me do that a little while ago, and the thermo server, and my kids just thought that was the most amazing dish they've ever had in their life. So I won't do it too often, because obviously it hasn't, I don't think it's got much nutritional content, like it's an egg on pasta with some cheese, but for an occasional, that's okay. So I've put that on the menu, on my list of things. And how cool is cookidoo, being able to give you that chance to make your own lists so you can plan and organize. I love it. Okay, some water. So that's definitely on the list for dinners. And I don't know what else we'll do. I do wonder if we might do some fish. They tend to catch a fair bit of fish. So that'll probably be on the to-do list of cooking as well. Although we tend to, as I said, I think that's probably the only thing we actually shallow fry is fish. Okay, cashews. Oh, not cashews, what I use, sunflower seeds, and I don't have enough. Trying to see if I've got anything else that resembles that in here. Nope, so I'm just going to go with a runnier one for you guys. Place the simmering basket instead of the measuring cup on the lid. So what it was going to do now is it's actually going to reduce this down. But what I might do is I might do this off camera at the end. Or Michelle's a definitely no on the coriander. I'm with you on that. What I might do is I might just, here we go, look, that lovely coriander step. Gross, 10 sprigs of leaves. Ugh. We actually, strangely enough, had these come up as weeds in our front garden when we first did our front gardens. And then we pulled them all out, and now we've got parsley that comes up like weeds. It's so random, but they looked so similar. I was like, please make sure they're all gone. So they are all gone. Some butter. So I'm going to come back and do that cook later, guys. I'm just going to put that in. I'm just guessing that. That's okay. All right, because what I want to do, here we go, 1 minute blend. So this is where, how cool is a TM6? If you have a TM5 for you, you'll need to be turning this up to speed probably 9 for your 1 minute, but with the Thermomix on the 6, you just spin it and off it goes. We use this all the time for milkshakes and smoothies, nut milks, all sorts of things, the blend feature, smoothing out your Fruity Dream ice cream, things like that. So I'm going to blend it. I'm going to go back and do that 7-minute cook, only because I don't want to spend 7 more minutes chatting to you and taking up your afternoon. And then I'm going to put it in those awesome bags that you saw me use earlier today. So I'm sorry I didn't bring one in here to show you, but they'll be bagged up flat. I will take a photo at the end of the final product. Just one other note, while it comes to mind, 30 seconds is long enough to blend. So, you know, on these blend features, you can actually override things still. So I'm going to just go back to 30 seconds because I just feel like that would be too long. Now bear with me for 30 seconds, and hear how slow it's going up. It's hot, it's knowing it's hot, so it goes up slowly to get rid of the chunks on the way. I don't know if you could notice, but by the time you got to 30 seconds, you could hear it was really consistently spinning in there. So it had smoothed it out. It got rid of all the chunks. Alright, so from here, I'm going to go back and do the 7-minute cook, but I just want to tell you what happens next, because you guys might want to cook along and find out what actually happens next. So the other night when we did it with halloumi, we fried off the halloumi while this was cooking, and at this point in time we added the halloumi in. Obviously, if you're doing the tandoori coated chicken, you're adding that in now. So it would be fried off and it would be cooked already. So you do that at the beginning, and then you're adding garam masala. Now, I actually forgot this the other night, and it tasted amazing. So don't stress about that. If you don't have it, don't stress it, okay? Just go with that. What it actually does is it lifts those spices up again, because when you cook it, it dulls flavors. So the garam masala's goal is to actually pull up all those spices flavors to the top again, so you can taste them more prominently. But it doesn't really matter. Stir with the spatula, insert the measuring cup, and then it says to cook for 3 minutes, and then it's done. Oh, sorry, cream. Forgot about the cream. Nearly done. So with the cream, you could add yogurt, coconut cream, cream, sour cream, anything like that. Okay? And then we're done, I think. More butter. I'm leading you guys astray on the done. You know what? When I go away, we will be putting something in there and cooking it up. I will probably add the cream, but probably not this next step. You watch this space next week. Lightly stir with a spatula. It cooks 1 more minute and then it's finally done. So it is amazing. I do love the fact that it's not in and out of the bowl. Okay, it's everything, it goes in except for that milling at the beginning. That's the only kind of out time. Everything else is just add to. So it's really, really easy to work through. So that is your butter chicken. So simple, absolutely amazing. Feel free to skip some of those things out, substitute like I did. And don't let it stop you making it if you don't have the exact things. If you don't have cardamom seeds, that's okay. Use ground cardamom. If you don't have the black cardamom pods, use the green. Things like that. Do that swapping. Now, just one other thing. This recipe called for that tandoori paste and the yogurt to coat the chicken. Tandoori paste, if you haven't made that, you'll need to go to my Facebook page, type in tandoori paste, and you will see me have made it. I've made it, I think, once or twice on there for you guys and shown you how to do that. So give that a go. It's only, I think there's a whole lot of spices, garlic, ginger, oil, and tomato paste. So really beautiful, really simple. Freeze it. I showed you how I froze it today in those little silicone muffin containers, and then use it as you need to. And I tell you, you won't be buying it again because it just tastes so amazing when you make it yourself. Tracy, I will post a picture of, hang on, I can't see half your comment. There's an ad in front of my screen. 2 seconds. Sorry, love. Let's see. What's it saying? Oh, there we go. Post a picture. What I might do, so I'm going to cook this. I'm going to freeze this in those bags with the other ones in the freezer. I will take a picture of those. But what I'm going to do is, if you want to see a picture of the final product, that's dinner tonight in reheated form. So because I've got the other one from a couple of nights ago in the fridge, so I'm going to be reheating that. That will be dinner tonight with our gluten-free naan bread from the other night. There's a couple of those left over with the kids been eyeing off. So I will definitely show you a photo of the final product. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining in this weekend. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm so glad to see some of you guys are inspired and you're going to go away and have a go at these recipes. I would highly suggest you do. They are amazing. Remember, though, you can make them your own. So I wouldn't be, sometimes I will be chucking raw chicken into this recipe and cooking it for 12 minutes on one of those last steps. And that's okay. All right, it's just going to give you a slight different product. But you know what? I bet you it still tastes amazing because it's made with real ingredients. No fillers, no colours, no things like that. So it's real deal. But if you want a demo, if you'd like more information, feel free to reach out. If you've got friends and family thinking about a Thermomix, or maybe they need to see one and what it's all about, feel free to refer them to my page and Instagram account and things like that, and show them what it's all about, because maybe they don't know that there's easier ways for them to be in their kitchen and cooking amazing food. So I'd love to help them get started with the Thermomix. And by all means, if you're watching and you don't have one, do reach out. I'd love to help you get one on your bench and change your kitchen with a Thermomix. I will see you sometime tomorrow, I am sure. I'll be back on here doing something tomorrow for Valentine's Day, apparently. Not that we really do that. I think we've been married too long to be Valentine's Daying. But I will do something anyway. And then I'll be back on Monday. So every afternoon you'll find me cooking live from my kitchen, hopefully inspiring you to get more out of your Thermomix. Have a great afternoon, guys. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.